Okay, I'm back with part three. I think this might be the last part. I'm not sure, but this is story time where I left off, where I said that I had determined in my heart that I was going to honor my mother. That's why I stopped off. But I was letting you know that it just didn't happen overnight, it was a process. And I can remember when the Lord had me to write my very first book. And you know how you have stuff tucked away as well, and you don't even know that it's tucked away. And I can remember Him telling me, because this is what I used to do. I used to have all my shoes lined up under my bed. They were just lined up. All I had to do was just reach under there and get them. But I had my cover where it covered it, so nobody knew my shoes was under there but me or one of my children. They looked under there. But everything on the outside is so clean. But then you raise up the cover on the bed or the skirt on the bed, you see all those shoes lined up. And he just let me know that sometimes I didn't deal with stuff. I pushed it under the rug, but it was time for me to go under that rug, clean it out, shake it, and deal with it. So in my book that I wrote then, I talked about the process of deliverance. Every time I would take a shoe out, that was a part of forgiveness for me. Somebody I needed to forgive, some type of offense or something I had tucked away. And that was a process for me. So with my mom, my God, it was levels, and what he had to do for me in order for me to fully forgive, because we went through some things. She said some hurtful things to me, and it really hurt me. And I tucked it away, even though I respected her because she was mom, and I believe what the word of God say: honor your mom, honor them. So I was gonna do my part, but it was some things tucked away. And what the Lord had to do is He had to bring me back the first story time. He had to bring me back even further, when I was 2 and 3, when my dad and her were married, the things that she had to endure from my dad, you know, a lot of stuff, even starting from then going up. She always had abuse, neglect. She never really had like a good life until like the last 10 years of her life. I was so thankful that God gave her happiness in the end, because all we saw in her life was pain, despair. That's all we saw. And when the Lord brought me back and He told me, just go back, Lynn, go back. Even things that she went through before she even had children that she probably never told us about. She had things. And He just told me to go back for what I remember and just look at what your mom went through, the sacrifices that she made for me and my sister to make sure that we had food to eat, electricity. I don't remember a time our lights being off. I don't remember a time when we didn't have a vehicle. I don't remember a time that we didn't have food. She took care of us, and she loved us the best that she can love us, because love begets love. And especially if she didn't receive love, it was a little, she gave it, but she couldn't be that. She wasn't never mushy. Even when I go to hug her, it was a stiff hug. And I just would grab her anyway. But it was like a little stiff hug. She never would just hold you and squeeze you. Because when I left at 19, love was what was taught to me and to the congregation where I came from. It was love. The church, people knew our church because of love. We were mushy. I was taught how to hug, how to love, how to be mushy. I was taught that. My mama wasn't mushy. My sister wasn't mushy either. She's a gangster. She wasn't mushy either. I was the mushy one. I can remember the time when, I was the mushy, the respectful one. I don't know where it come from. Might have been my daddy's side. Because, they intellectual on my daddy's side. Them some smart people. But anyway, I can remember when we would go out in restaurants and I would say thank you and yes, ma'am. And child, I got home and got lectured. Don't you ever say yes, ma'am again. It's yes and no. But I still say it, yes, ma'am. They couldn't take it out of me. And every 5 minutes I was thank you. Thank you. And my sister said, would you shut up? I said, what in the world? Where y'all come from? So it was just in me. I come from a different breed, right? But anyway, getting back on the subject with Mama, he took me down memory lane, and when he took me down memory lane, I began to feel what she felt, and when I was able to feel what she felt, then understanding came. Then I understood why she had this little bit of coldness and not mushy and, guard always up. And when I understood her pain, it was easy for me to forgive her. It was easy. That was the process. When I was able to understand her, understand her pain, understand her hurt, understand her upbringing. She got upbringing that I dare not talk about, on here. I won't bring up those type of things, but she had some things in her life. Her identity has been attacked. Those that know. When I understood all of that, then I was able to forgive her and understand. And when she went to rah, as she did, as she went to cutting up sometimes, as she did, I didn't hold it. I didn't hold it. I let her rah, and then she come back around and she apologized. That was something that she used to didn't do. She would say she was sorry. And at the end of it all, she'd tell me she loved me, that I looked like her, and she would call and we would have conversations about back then. We was able to go back then and laugh, and those are things that we wasn't able to do at one time. So things had gotten better, and I can remember the last time that I did see her, she wasn't feeling all that well. So that was before I moved to Texas. That was when I was still in Mississippi, and I drove down and I cleaned the whole entire house for her. I cleaned everything for her because Mr. Charlie, he was doing it, and he's older than her. And I'm like, I come down, and I just cleaned up everything. Just cleaned up everything and just spent time with her. That was the last time that I was able to see her, because I was supposed to go down, but we had a fire in our old house and I couldn't go down. And that was in July we had the fire, and in August she passed away. It was unexpectedly. So that part of me caused me to be a little emotional because I didn't get to say goodbye, Didn't get to say goodbye. But I want to leave this with you as we end this. I honored her. I made it up in my heart and my mind when God told me to honor your mama. I have peace because I honored her until she took her last breath. The friction that was once there was gone. When she left, we had a clean slate. We had a clean slate. When she left, we were on good terms. And when she left her husband, I was able to kind of be there for him. Didn't have anything in my heart because she loved him and he loved her, and that's what I knew. I honored her in that. I honored her in that. He took good care of her. So that is my story time. It started out funny, but it's kind of a little heavy now. It's a little heavy, so I will end it there at part 3, honoring my mama. When the Bible tells you to honor your mom, honor your dad, it may not be easy, but when you go down memory lane and you understand why they act like they act, you can forgive, you can suck it up. It's not about us. It's about the next person. So can we deny ourselves? Can we put other people before ourselves? Are we able to honor when sometimes you feel like honor is not, they don't deserve it or whatever? But your parents do deserve it. Your mama do deserve it. You all have a good day. I pray that something I said would touch that heart. Until my next story time with my sister, y'all have a thriving Thursday. Y'all have a good day.